Hey guys, this is Anime Paul Z here, and today we're going to be doing the third part of What If Naruto Was a Fox Age Remastered. Just to begin, I want to say that Sasuke will be staying in the village for Naruto Shippuden. I did put out a community post about this, and the majority vote was Sasuke staying in the village, and this is what I will do. Please like the video because it really helps with the algorithm, and after you finish the video, tell me anything that I can improve on for the next part to make this What If as great as possible. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
One in time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Naruto turns and runs off into the distance to catch up to Sasuke. They both stand on the heads of the statues in the Valley of the End. Naruto stands on Hashirama's statue and Sasuke stands on Madara's. Stop this and return to Konoha. What is all of this darkness for? Naruto asks with anger, desperately wanting Sasuke to return to him and his friends. Sasuke just smirks and activates his Sharingan as he stares him down. Fate has brought me here. I need to get stronger, he replies firmly. Naruto just shakes his head and then feels his body returning to normal. The time limit, this isn't good. Sasuke believes he is returning to normal because he doesn't want to fight, but this makes Sasuke more eager to kill him. In his head, he thinks that Naruto is brushing him off for weakness. He thinks that Naruto believes that he is above him, he has to prove him wrong. Sasuke speeds across the Madara statue and makes Naruto wary of his attacks. He has no enhancement, so any attack coming at him right now could be lethal. As a consequence of this, he just stays defensive and tries to counter attacks that come at him. Sasuke flips while mid-air and lands on the Hashirama statue, chucking out a kunai with a paper bomb. It explodes right in Naruto's face, knocking him off course and leading him to almost slip off of the statue as a whole. As soon as his eyes are raised back up, he's punched right off the statue. He soars from the heights of the statue and is hyperventilating, trying to find a strategy to stop himself getting seriously hurt or even dying. Luckily, he is met by the dark voice of Kurama. Use a kunai to soften your fall by stabbing it into the rock wall. Naruto does just that and manages to give himself a softer fall. He still falls to his knees, but nothing breaks in his legs or anything. Sasuke aims down with a fireball jutsu and Naruto rolls away just in time. His opponent lands after performing the jutsu and continues trying to attack him. Naruto manages to dodge the first hit, then he reaches out for his very own punch. Sasuke's Sharingan is really able to give him the perception to swerve right out of the way and kick him directly in the sternum with a jump kick. This knocks Naruto back several meters, making him wheeze from his first inhale. I need your chakra, Kurama, he orders an nine-tailed fox, preparing to up the stakes. He doesn't want to hurt his friend, but he has to survive and bring him back. Sasuke walks towards him with fury fueling his every movement. He opens his mouth, making a maniacal smile. His curse mark flames up then grows across his body, enhancing his body while doing so. Don't try and you'll lose, Naruto, he shouts, blitzing at him with all his speed. Before Naruto is fully affected by the Kurama's chakra, he is punched into nearby rocks and sent diving into the water. However, this time allows him to be fully strengthened by the demonic chakra. He then creates 50 shadow clones while underwater and they all swim towards the surface. Sasuke looks around beneath his feet and starts to see the clones approaching the surface of the water. The clones completely surround him, making him more concerned for what's to come. Once they got onto the surface of the water, some burst out and get right into combat. One clone swings with a slash, but Sasuke dodges and kicks it in the side, knocking it out. He continues handling the clones with his sharp perception and impressive taijutsu. While fighting these clones, his Sharingan completely matures and provides him with much more perception and the ability to see attacks before they even happen. In the back, Naruto is actually growing his Rasengan with some lonely shadow clones. Sasuke hasn't really been paying attention and he has been focused on the match, but he has seen it in the corner of his eye many times. As the last clone falls, Naruto charges forward with two of the clones that run ahead of him. Sasuke just grabs both their punches and kicks them with a perfect split kick in the air. However, he lands and leaves himself vulnerable. Even though he can see the attack, he doesn't have the speed to dodge. Naruto, who is in his Kurama influence or KM0 form in other words, has speed comparable to his own. He gets hit directly by the Rasengan and gets hurled across the water. The water ripples and almost parts waves for the power of Naruto's jutsu. He slams into some large rocks and some come tumbling into the water, but he manages to balance himself on the trunk of a tree in the water. As Sasuke just doesn't attack, Naruto stands still and expels the Kurama chakra and uses his own. While Sasuke is waiting for him to attack, Naruto is just standing perfectly still and not attacking back at all. He jumps down from the branch and uses his swiftness to approach the still fighter. However, Naruto's hair bleaches to white and he opens them to reveal fangs, claws, and glowing red eyes. He senses disruption in Sasuke approaching and only managed to get into imperfect sage mode. However, this is more than enough strength for him to combat Sasuke at stage 1 of his curse mark. He catches Sasuke's incoming punch and swings back with his own punch. It lands and he gains more distance with a powerful front kick. Sasuke isn't able to dodge, but he is able to block, sending him sliding across the water surface. Naruto rushes in and tries to uppercut Sasuke into some rocks, but his Sharingan does him well and allows him to predict the attack and dodge it. Naruto throws another punch, but Sasuke swerves past it and swings out 2 shuriken with his arm before running back. Naruto gets cut in the cheek and also the arm, annoying him a little. Since Kurama can't just use his own chakra and disrupt the balance of chakra and natural energy, he is forced to just stay with these wounds. Kurama knows it's nothing significant, so he isn't bothered by them at all. Naruto and Sasuke run to each other, then engage in close quarters combat. Sasuke has the edge on him with technique, but Naruto just has a complete edge over him with fighting power and weaponry. His weaponry is enhanced with Senjutsu chakra, so it makes him faster, sharper, more damaging, etc. Eventually, he beats his stubborn opponent into a corner with bloody wounds and bruises. Naruto also has some bruises, but is doing way better than him. Sasuke drops to a knee and starts panting, unable to continue battle. Naruto knows he has a chance here, but he is unable to just attack and seriously injure his own friend. Not more than he's already done. Return to the village, Sasuke. There's no need for this, Naruto demands, clenching his fists while saying this. Sasuke spits out blood to his side and doesn't reply. Unfortunately, he has another trick up his sleeve. His curse mark starts to grow across his body even more and eventually coats his entire body in a dark skin. His hair turns slightly blue, also making him shout in pain from the growth of wings in his back. Naruto tries to punch him, but he's literally swatted into the waters by the wings. This attack is much more powerful than he expected, and Sasuke fully transforms with the curse mark. Sasuke runs right across the water and uses speed far superior to Naruto's own. Also, Naruto's Sage Mode fades and makes him so much weaker. Kurama also realizes this and is very concerned for Naruto's ability to face Sasuke. He gets punched and sent flying across the water. Sasuke then takes flight and dives down with a heel kick, launching Naruto deep into the water. While he is in the water, Kurama is forced to heal the grave injuries that knocked him out cold. While he does this, Naruto wakes up in Kurama's subconscious first. You need to use my chakra and also use Sage Mode. It's the only option to stop this Uchiha from killing you, Kurama announces to a drowsy Naruto. Okay, Naruto replies. He gets put right back into reality and sees that he is underwater and Sasuke is just walking away from him. Naruto swims to the surface and just keeps his nose above the water so he can breathe. With Kurama's chakra, he starts forming Senjutsu chakra with the 9-tailed fox chakra. It's harder, but his skill with Sage Mode is more than enough for this. It takes some time, but he gets completely powered by Sage Mode, also reaching the perfect form. His hair goes completely white and he still has some fox features from Kurama's chakra. He floats up to the top of the water with his new power and slowly exhales, getting Sasuke's attention. He turns and sees Naruto, who seems just like his normal self in Sage Mode. However, this is a very big mistake on Sasuke's end. From the fox features, he also assumes that he's in a weaker form of his Sage Mode and takes the chance to attack. However, Naruto also has his Kurama's chakra aura to add on to his physical features. Don't mistake me for a weakling, Naruto. Naruto's demonic aura literally makes ripples in the water beneath his feet. His hair swiftly flows and his clothes rustle under the weak forces of his aura. Naruto lifts his head to make eye contact with Sasuke. Sasuke flaps his wings and zooms across the water towards Naruto. He pulls back his fist once he comes close to Naruto and reaches out for a strike. However, Naruto simply moves his head out of the way with his eyes still closed. He follows by sweeping his leg upwards and kicks Sasuke airborne. He then leaps up and punches him so hard that he flies right back into the water. Sasuke quickly flaps up to the water surface and tries to fight Naruto. Every punch and kick that he throws is easily blocked and dodged by the swift white-haired ninja. The lack of effort on Naruto's end enrages Sasuke. He's still taking him for a joke. As Naruto doesn't even pay attention to his attacks, he begins charging up the flapping Chidori. The electrical current collects and eventually fully collects. He rushes across the water and makes one powerful flap with his wings to dive down with the jutsu. He reaches forward as far as he can and believes he's won. However, Naruto just leaps over the Chidori and kicks him directly in the neck before kicking him again with his other leg. Naruto punches downward and follows with a barrage. Every hit just breaks apart Sasuke. It breaks bones and just ruins him physically. He is unable to react to his powerful attacks and is just forced to take it. More than 50% of his ribs are shattered. All 3 of his arm bones are broken and his curse mark starts to fade away. His wings shrink into nothing and his normal skin is revealed with the classic burn marks across them. He falls back into some rocks behind him and drops to his knees from his weakness. His arms aren't even able to keep him up and he just drops onto his chest. Seconds after, he passes out and Naruto's Sage Mode fades. It leaves him with just Kurama's chakra that he expels right after. It eventually starts to rain and Kakashi arrives, retrieving Naruto's broken body. Sasuke is the one that has to go to hospital and Naruto is pretty much fine. Sasuke is kept to heal and is also kept in chains to stop him getting up and leaving back to Orochimaru. As this happens and the mission is successful, Naruto sets off with Jiraiya to train. Throughout the training, he gets exceptional powers. From his new Sage Mode powers, it has further increased his willpower and workload. This means that he's come back even stronger than his canon self. His normal self is far stronger and larger than his canon self. From his constant strength training, he has gained a better and more athletic physique. Naruto also utilizes chakra infusion much more frequently and has learned a few techniques when it comes to ninja weapons. For example, transforming multiple weapons into shadow clones or tying shuriken to thin but durable wire. Once he returns, he's surprised by the rank ups displayed by his friends. Neji has already risen to the rank of a Jonin and Gaara is literally the Kaze Kage. It makes him feel a little sad that he's fallen behind rank wise, but other than that he's definitely doing okay. With his strongest form of Sage Mode, he's easily the strongest of the Konoha 12. Luckily, Sasuke has actually managed to stay in the village. He has risen to the rank of a Chunin. It took some hard work from Kakashi and Sakura, but he eventually managed to calm down and train within Konoha's walls. His control over the curse mark is much more prominent and he still develops jutsu such as the Chidori Senbon. Naruto has actually been able to tap into so much Kurama chakra that he willingly goes into the one-tailed Kyuubi cloak at times. Anything more and he loses control. Kurama's will to be removed from the cages that have locked him away for many years now is still prominent. His time of escape is closer than ever as his friendship with Naruto only continues to strengthen. Kakashi looks at his renewed squad and says, "Now, with you all stronger, let's redo this bell test. However, I get to use my Sharingan." He pulls up his mask and reveals his singular Sharingan. Sasuke reacts to this by revealing both of his very own mature Sharingan. Naruto has been quite silent, but he's been silent on purpose. His hair whitens and his body gains far more strength as he enters perfect Sage Mode. Sakura has been taking training a little more seriously, with Sasuke always around as motivation, but there isn't much she can really do. She is a little stronger and is also a much better medical nin. Kakashi begins the bell test and Naruto speeds ahead of both Sasuke and Sakura. He is still very swift and has a lot more power to every stride. His speed surprises Kakashi, but his new Sharingan provides him with the needed perception to evade the punch. He ducks right under it and flips away, but Sasuke is quick to intervene. His curse mark flares and grows across his entire body, greatly enhancing his every move. He rushes ahead and brushes past Naruto, intending for some combat of his own. He runs right in with a punch that Kakashi catches. He throws two other punches which are both blocked by Kakashi. As his arms are pushed back, he reaches in and anticipates his sensei's next movement with his Sharingan. This allows him to move ahead of time and aim for the position the bells will be at a certain time in the future. However, Kakashi sees his movements too and it allows him to swerve his hand right out of his direction. Sasuke then retracts his arm and unsheathes his long and tough blade and clashes with Kakashi and forces him to grab onto the blade. Blood dribbles down the blade and forces him to fall back a few steps. Sasuke then slashes down both of his palms and spins to strike down with his sword. However, Kakashi slips past the strike and escapes into the forest behind him. After this, Sakura steps up and actually takes action. She might be far weaker than her teammates, but she isn't all that weak herself. She leaps into the forest and strikes down so hard that trees and plants fall into the newly formed crater. Kakashi is revealed and Sasuke sees him from a mile off. Naruto notices him from the disruption of natural energy. He leaps right at Kakashi and just misses a punch. Kakashi dives off the falling branch and it breaks under Naruto's landing force. Naruto then reveals his kunai and infuses them with his Sage Chakra. He hurls one through the air at such high speed that Kakashi literally has no time to react. He gets stabbed in the arm and is forced to use his substitution jutsu to evade further attacks. Sasuke, walking further into the broken forest, starts transforming. A wing rips out from his back and his hair starts to change into an odd blue-grey colour. The second wing is revealed and he uses the Black Chidori Senbon jutsu. He is basically allowed the flapping Chidori to turn into the Chidori Senbon instead of the ordinary Chidori. Black electrical Senbon disperse across the open area. Naruto just manages to dodge these swift stabs. Kakashi gets stabbed twice in both arms. Naruto then takes his chance to swing out both kunai at his opponent. He then zooms forwards and front kicks Kakashi right into a tree. The bark on the tree breaks apart and just leaves it half open. Kakashi slides down the tree and in one last ditch effort he uses the substitution jutsu once again. Naruto looks around for him and the demon-like Sasuke arrives. "I see him," he calmly states, staring out into the deep darkness of the forest that lays ahead of them. So that will conclude the third part of What If Naruto Was a Fox Sage. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this because I certainly enjoyed making it. After seeing the poll that you guys made saying that you like my Dragon Ball Z What Ifs more, I'm going to be making more Dragon Ball Z What Ifs in the future. I might remaster What If Goku and Vegeta were brothers, but I'll also give you guys some ideas and you guys can choose from them. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.